Hey, I'm Wrestling World. Um, yeah, lessons that have come to me from the last 2 years. It's like it's almost 1 a.m. Here right now, and I've just uploaded and put out my video to Rob, which concluded that story, and it's led me to. I just didn't want to go to bed. I just didn't want to go to bed. My mind's still going, and my mind is something that does that. I've really started to self-reflect and realize the evolution that's happening within myself as both an arm wrestler, as a content creator, as a businessman, as a husband, as a father, as a man, as all these different things. There's a lot of reflections um, in my head right now, and I didn't want to go to bed, so I thought I'd have a chat with you guys instead. Uh, First things first, I don't know if you guys have noticed, um, I've completely changed my style of presentation here on YouTube. I'm no longer the entertainer, the presenter. I'm not trying to roll words off at a million miles an hour and have a tone in my voice that is exciting. I've slowed it down. And I want to be much more clear in my thoughts. I want to be able to reach depths of thoughts that I wouldn't be able to if I was speaking at that fast presenter pace. And to be honest, I'm enjoying it. And guys, thank you for the support. I've seen a lot of you, the comments in the last 4 or 5 videos that I've been doing this have been good. There's been an uptick in subscribers and everything. So for that, thank you. And look, that is a reflection of just the whole process of being a YouTube focused career. It's something that you just can't anticipate your next step. Who knows where? Just like arm wrestling, it's a winding path, I guess. It is a skill set that I'm trying to develop constantly, trying to bring the viewing audience something better. And it's kind of where I'm at. So thank you for all the guidance. I always say, when I say the guidance, I always reflect on the fact that I'm grateful for everyone who's been here for the whole time. All the likes and comments and shares and all of that. They do actually mold you as a person and as a content creator. These are not throwaway lines. They do mold you. I read it. I read 99% of comments, and I'm watching, learning, and listening and evolving. And here's where we are. So, look, I'm grateful for all that. It's fascinating that here we are. But anyway, so arm wrestling in the last 2 years for me has been something that has been it's been trying, very trying. There's almost been a curse over me for the last 2 years. People like to joke. Just about every match that I've been involved in either got cancelled or became impossible, whether it was due to COVID, whether it was just due to visas, whether it was due to travel restrictions. There were heaps of matches. In the last 2 years, I've only had 2 formal matches. Ryan Scott and Lachlan Adair. Neither of those 2 matches were actually planned, as in intended on occurring, but they were all that was available at the time, and circumstances led to it. Ideally, in the last 2 years, I had grand plans. If I wind back the clock to the beginning of 2020, I was set to face Brendan Lemon Mulvihill in WAL 601. I was after that, I was going to be pulling in the bottom 8 with Devon and his crew. I was going to be pulling John Milne, and then I was going to be doing a tour of the world. I was committed as a full-time YouTube arm wrestler. I was going to tour the world, stop in at clubs everywhere, and just group up with as many people as possible, film it all, have fun, enter tournaments everywhere, be active, on the move. That was the intent. We had quite the different result when obviously travel restrictions and all the nonsense kicked in, and it was never ending. It really put my brand and business on the back foot. I had to quickly evolve. I rolled into coaching as fast as I could. I tried to create an online coaching establishment. just to bridge the income gap that had suddenly appeared. We got through that period, and funnily enough, look, the last 2 years, the business has grown. Business has done really well. I've probably had a bigger gross revenue in the last 12 months than I could have dreamt of. Albeit hurdles have now been thrown at me once again with Facebook revenue disappearing. That was $4,500 US a month. We just lost, but we will rebuild. That's fine. It's led to such an interesting time. I've had to be really patient. I'm actually now even within myself. I don't even know where I'm at. And that's a really odd space for me. It's a really odd space. And what I'm referring to is I don't know where I'm at as an arm wrestler because it's been so long since I have touched an international hand. It's been a long time. I always had a really good understanding of where I was at up until 2019. From 2017, when I first faced Justin Bishop, to the end of 2019, I was getting constant feedback and data through my hand of where I was at relative to internationals. I felt within myself I was progressing faster than those people around me. I was surpassing people on the regular. So the last 2 years has been just a dark, unknown period. Beating Ryan Scott was great. He was an established Australian high-level arm wrestler. So that gave me confidence. I always had a lot of belief in Lachlan Adair. And then as I said, we never intended on facing each other. We always intended on going overseas. But because circumstances led to no matches being available for us, the Australian scene wanted us to formalise who's the number one guy. So we did. And that's been it. So where I'm at now is it's dark. I don't know what the situation is. I don't know where I'm at. And like I said, it is a very bizarre feeling. I still think that I'm at a very high level. You guys know that. I do think I'm at a high level, and I look forward to finding out the reality. I'm genuinely hoping that is just around the corner. There's been so many freaking close calls, whether it was King of the Table 3 and Rob pulling out, or it was Bojdar Simonov like 3 weeks ago and his visa being denied. There's just been, like I said, I feel like I'm cursed somewhat. There's just been things that have jumped up in the way and prevented it from happening. But look, I do feel it's inevitable. I haven't ever in this last 2 years stopped training. I haven't ever stopped thinking about how to better myself as an arm wrestler. And I do feel like I've actually discovered a lot of things about myself in the arm wrestling sense. And I do believe I've taken my weaponry to the best state it's been in. I've laser focused a whole lot more down into the very small critical movements. When you don't know who your next opponent's going to be, and you have a goal of doing well in tournament settings, like the Zloty, I reflected and thought that the most important thing was going to be the first 5 millimeters of every little movement possible from go. Didn't matter whether it was supination, rise, chop, roll, whatever, flexion, fingers, wrist. I just wanted to win the first 5 millimeters. So I've spent a lot of time on that. Will that serve me well? I don't know. I don't know. I want to find out, though. That's for sure. I want to find out. A lot of people ask me if I enjoy the business or the arm wrestling more. I've always run these two things in parallel. I've never said I was going to go one or the other. The whole story of arm wrestling becoming a career for me came from a place where I saw a necessity for those things to be in parallel. It was impossible for me to just create an arm wrestling business straight off the bat with no arm wrestling credibility. It was also impossible for me to just establish a career as an arm wrestler because there was no prize money through organizations, especially at my level, which was novice. So I recognized and I just said to myself, look, you're going to start this journey. You're going to do what you do. You're going to be patient and you're going to do it because you love it and you enjoy it. So I started in parallel the YouTube channel and my arm wrestling pursuits. And there's been different times throughout the years where one of those missions has been ahead of the other. I'm a better arm wrestler, better YouTuber. I'm not sure where it's at right now. I think people probably think I'm a better YouTuber than arm wrestler because I haven't arm wrestled in so long. People have forgotten whether I can actually do it or not. People question if I'm actually half decent. Even I'm starting to question it as we've covered. But it has been a constant development, and it's thoroughly enjoyable. I feel very blessed. I feel like my life is very blessed. I feel like the people in my world have supported me tremendously, and it's led to opportunities. And I'm very well networked in the arm wrestling world. I have amazing friends. I have close relationships with some of the most elite arm wrestlers on earth, which is such a buzz. It really is. It is a buzz. And I'm just, at the end of the day, I'm very humbled that this has all come to life. Everything that I set out to do in the beginning has come to life. And it is a career now completely. And I am a high-level arm wrestler. Whether you call me high-level pro, mid-level pro, low-level pro, whatever you want to call me, I'm somewhere in that spectrum. And I'm pushing for the elite. That's the goal, is to be recognized as elite, not pro. That's the chapter I'm aiming for. And like I said, we're still yet to find out how close we are to that chapter. So all in all, these reflections of the last 2 years, I think, have led to a good place. I'm happy with everything. Life has been complex outside of arm wrestling in this last 2 years, I think, for everyone. I haven't been excused of that. I haven't had that luxury by any stretch. It's been complex, thrown challenges, and all of those challenges have led to, I guess, a maturity, the way I think, the way I approach, and a reminder, my own spirituality has increased. I have a stronger faith at the moment than I've ever had before. I think I'm learning to be a more selfless person. I think that I understand other people's perspectives more. I'm willing to listen and actually properly listen. I think that in itself is an exciting thing. I actually enjoy that feeling of discovery that's going on as I reflect on other people's circumstances and hear what they've got to say and listen to their perspectives and slow things down a little bit. At the end of the day, I feel like I'm weirdly, by slowing things down, I feel like more wisdom is allowed in. Not worrying about expectation. Not worrying about expectation of myself, of the internet, the fans of the sport, the followers of a YouTube channel. I'm not worrying about all those things. It really does unlock a lot of just perspective, and unlocks the perspective's good. It really changes the way I'm thinking about the future, and ultimately, even though the future is unknown and I don't really know what's coming, I've often had grand plans, and I still do, for both myself as an arm wrestler and the business and just everything in between. I feel like I'm just more comfortable with the unknown nature of that now. And I'm more comfortable with just being willing and ready to roll with the punches as they come. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I know I love this process. I love this journey. I love being an arm wrestler. I love being a content creator. And I love trying to ultimately pursue the mission of getting as many people within this sphere or ecosystem of arm wrestling. I really enjoy trying to enable as many people as possible to be able to call it a career as well. I do think there's good things in the future under pound for pound arm wrestling. I do think that there's going to be many laughs ahead. There's going to be many good times, many victories, many losses, many things of all respect are coming. So I guess at the end of the day, these reflections are a good thing. Yeah. All right, guys. I don't know. I don't even know where this was going. I don't know if where it's ended up has been something that you found interesting. This was a video of self-discovery. I didn't even know what these thoughts were until now, and as they've manifested, it's come to be. So I'm pretty grateful for the ability to share all this with you guys, and I do appreciate every single one of you that comment, because your comments shape these thoughts and shape the creative directions. They shape me as an arm wrestler, and I'm honored to be able to walk that path with you guys as well. So hope you're well, and no doubt I'll see you all soon.